Oi, oi, you beautiful human beings out there. I hope everybody's having a good one. And yeah, I kind of, this one came to me and I made a reference to something. So here it is. You can't build a muscle by going to the gym once. Think about that, right? All you gym rats too. You don't go to the gym once and then you're looking in the mirror and you're looking all buffed out and big and all slimmed down. And your diet's got to be right, your gym routines have got to be right. Yeah, there's certain situations that you put yourself in the gym where you might not necessarily like where you're at, but you push to because you want a certain result. And think about that for this. Think about that for this. All you guys that want to work on your mind. You know, I'm sure if you put the same amount of effort that a lot of people put into the gym in your mind, you'd be thinking differently already. And if you look at this has been programmed in a certain kind of way. There's certain belief systems that we've picked up from growing up in the past. And when you add that to your mind and you start programming that from a very early age. Remember, from 0 to 6 or 7, you're like sponge brain crazy. The information is coming in, and it doesn't matter whether it's right or whether it's wrong. You're taking that information in, and it's basically like you sitting down at your computer and just programming it. It's programming as you grow up. And we get into that default. It's the default. It's what the brain knows. It knows where it's going. It actually knows trauma by putting it, or suffering by putting us in there. It's what we're used to. It's the default. It's something that has followed all the way along until we decide that we want to start looking at it, until we decide that we want to start working on ourselves and finding out where we even sit in this environment. Do we know who we really are? But the only way to find out is by putting in the graft, putting in the work, getting into working with somebody, getting in with a therapist, getting in with a life coach, getting in with a counselor, getting in with somebody where you can sit down and start working like you would in the gym. And remember, like I said, things don't happen overnight. You don't get in on that first session and all of a sudden go, oh yeah, everything's great. It doesn't work like that. We keep going to the gym. We keep working on ourselves. We keep on, even without the therapy, we work towards a goal of growth. And the only way we're going to get towards the growth part is by turning up for ourselves. Turning up for ourselves, putting in the time, getting meditations done, doing breath works, telling yourselves different narratives. And the only way you do this is by practice, over and over. I had one guy say to me, God, what have I got? Is this something that I got to carry on the rest of my life? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, you keep working on yourself. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But there's always a consequence to choosing not to, and it isn't one that we really want to be in. So get yourself to the mind gym. Get yourself off to the mind gym. Start working on yourselves. Start wanting to know more about yourself and who you really are within this environment. And work that muscle right here, that computer. It's really, I would say it's probably tougher to change this than what it is a muscle. Because of all that programming and the way we even think about ourselves because of that programming. It's hard to change that. It takes work. It takes sometimes standing up and admitting that we're wrong. In fact, a lot of the times is that, being honest with ourselves. Yeah, I could see where I could have been wrong there. And then working on that, because and then that grows that muscle again. into knowing yourself and expanding and accepting the old self as not you anymore and moving into a new self. Keep going to that gym. Keep working out. Working this. And if you are a gym rat, I used to be a long time ago, but if you are, think about the amount of time that you may be going to the gym to work on yourself and your physique. And when you look in the mirror, the old ego goes, oi, oi, right? But you can't see this. So just because there's a physical oi, oi, doesn't mean there's an oi, oi here. You may not be working on this the same amount of dedication that you're giving by going into the gym. Give your mind the same dedication, because then you can start shifting things around and start seeing who you really are. Love each and every one of you. Go and hit that like and subscribe for me, because I'll tell you what, you're getting this message out to people, and the more it reaches, the better, right? We'll start shifting minds together. So please, go and hit me up in the comments. Go and drop me a comment. I love to get comments from people. Stay that course, guys. Namaste.